In Deuteronomy chapter 17, God anticipated that when the Israelites got into the promised land, they were going to want a king, and God wanted that king to be a good king for them, so he laid down some ground rules as to what that king should do and what they should look for in a king when that happens. And one of them was kind of interesting. It was something that he said, your king must do this. He said the king must write down the laws that God has passed on to them. And he must keep those laws with him at all times and read them every single day. And why? It would do two things. Number one, it would be so that he wouldn't forget how to rule in a way that God would use to bless his people, in a way that would help people and not hurt people, in a way that would benefit people and not burden people. And secondly, it would do something else. God said that by doing this, by making the effort to do this, it would show that he really does revere God. To revere means to keep in a high place. And by doing that, he would be showing that he does revere God, because just think about how much time that would take. I mean, they didn't easily find paper or pens to be able to write things down or write things down on. They didn't have like computer keyboards that they could just go really, really fast, 1,000 words a minute or whatever it was. That would take a lot of time to write that down, take a lot of efforts to preserve that, to carry it with them, and to read through it over and over again and again and again, and to never get tired of doing that in the middle of all the different tasks that they have to do. That's what God had wanted to have happen. And wouldn't it be great if everybody in your life did the same thing? If everybody was so eager to revere God and love you well that they would do the same thing, make the time to write down God's word and make sure that they carry that with them and read that every day so that they can base all of their actions and all their words and all of their decisions on what they know is God's best guidance for their life so that they can best impact your life. Yeah, that would be great. I don't know that that happens for everyone. If you have relationships like that, where people obviously are eager to revere God and serve you well, thank God for them. And nurture those relationships. But there are a lot of relationships where that doesn't happen. Where people just walk by you in the hallway and never pay any attention to you. Or when people find one thing to nitpick and boy, they inflict a lot of damage on you just with that one thing. You might have relationships, in a sense, with government officials, not, maybe kings or governors or presidents or representatives or, whatever it is. You might not know them personally, but you still have some kind of relationship with them where their decisions impact you. They impact your family. And you might not always be convinced that the decisions they're making are made in your best interests. Sometimes they have a negative impact on your existence. And then sometimes there are even the relationships in your own home, or the relationships in your family. And those aren't always filled with God's greatest love either. And if that's the case, just remember this. Your true king, your eternal king, he also reveres something. He reveres you. You have the highest place in his heart. And you always will. Every decision he made was based on doing whatever it would take to be with you forever and to be with you in a place where you'll never be able to be hurt ever again. And that king who reveres you, he's right now paying attention to you. He sees you. He knows you. And he will always love you. So rest well tonight, my friends.